Sip slow, sip slow, sip slow, sip slow, sip slow, sip slow, sip slow.
Frank Lee, homie.
I'm only sipping it slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow. Take a sip, I bet it get you right. And I only speak it if it's real, yeah. Only spill it if it's true, yeah. Everybody want the tea, so you already know the deal. I always sip slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow. Only helping you grow. Tell you things that you need to hear, not only things you wanna know. Keeping you up on your current events, I swear the world's so cold. Talking about marriage and sports too. Man, you gotta catch the show. You better believe me. Got Allen T. Weezy, J. Martin, that JT, make it look easy. Whenever they speaking about any topic, if I spoke about it, I was really about it. Ain't no front, I was real about it. In my white cup, it got Hen inside it. It's a message for everybody. Now I'm only sipping it slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow. Take a sip, I bet it get you right. And I only speak it if it's real, yeah. Only spill it if it's true, yeah. Everybody want the tea, so you already know the deal. I always sip slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow.
Man, it's up and it's stuck. This is the Sip Slow podcast, where we help ourselves as well as others. Raw, real, and uncut. Audio work weekly. It's your boy, Mr. Money Don't Sleep, so T Weezy can't rest.
This your boy JT.
What's happening, fellas? It's J-Dub, man. Happy Valentine's to everyone.
What's good, everybody? This Al checking in.
Yes, sir. Happy Valentine's Day. What y'all boys sipping on today?
Man, I ain't got nothing but a little coffee right now. Just finished church a few minutes ago. That's why we was eating late, but I got a little something waiting.
I got a little Coke in here, a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, me, I'm sipping on some Dr. Pepper, man. I'm here at work with you guys, so yeah, I'm try to do right.
Already, man. I'm back on this cranberry and grape, man. That's it, man. A little water on the side. What y'all been up to?
Man, trying to weather this cold for the most part.
Yeah. Y'all, you gotta work? Well, you work from the house, so it don't matter, huh?
No, not right now. I'm supposed to go to Livingston next week, but I'm probably gonna have to bump that down and wait. I don't want to get out there on them roads and, put myself in no danger if I don't have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm just gonna chill. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off that, Jay. I'm actually off tomorrow. I'm at work now, but just been spending a couple of days trying to quote unquote. Hey, what's up, Big A? I see you out there.
So what to do?
Yeah, trying to winterize our house. I just learned a new term, winterize. So have y'all boys winterized your homes?
I guess if you mean like wrapping the pipes and that type of stuff, yeah, you got to how they talking about it's gonna be, What about you?
I mean, same thing. I got the little styrofoam stuff I need to go put around them pipes. I hadn't done it yet, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So at least, follow as many of the precautions as we can.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, man, yesterday, well, we'll get into this. Y'all doing something for your wives for Valentine's Day? Or do you have to do something for your wives for Valentine's Day?
Hey, before
Jay?
y'all boys jump into all y'all little Valentine's Day, celebration, I'm gonna put it out there. Me and my wife, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day once a year. We celebrate it throughout the year. So Valentine's Day is just another day for us. So I'm gonna leave this day for y'all that's spending all that money on one day.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
You
No,
sound a little hard, boy.
No, we used to celebrate it, but now as I got older, it's whatever though. So it's just whatever we want to do. But back in the days, I used to go get all the stuff, but now you get older, it's just another day.
Yeah, I took my wife out yesterday. Last night, me and her went out to eat. Some low key, but just me and her. Really, I guess you could say for Valentine's Day, but really just spend some time together. So, if you out here taking care of business, it shouldn't take one day to show that you love somebody. So, hey, that's how I see it. But a lot of women got their mouth poked out if you don't do something. So you might not get no box that night. You feel me?
Well, I would hate for them to let that be the excuse.
Now,
It's just one of them things.
Well, they gonna try to use the excuse anytime they can.
Man, they know they will. I'm with Mo, man. I think we used to celebrate it early in our relationship. I'm gonna go back and even just dating, and then after a while, it's kind of like what we love each other every day. So, I mean, that ain't nothing that I need to just broadcast on Valentine's Day. I celebrate my grandma's passing. Well, her birthday would have been today, so that was my best friend, and that's the only thing I really think about on Valentine.
Already. Well, Al, man, we're gonna get in that free game.
All right, this free game is for the fellas, man. We're gonna keep it real basic and short.
There we go.
Okay, so fellas, whatever you did, whatever it took to get that woman that's in your life, it takes that same thing to keep her.
Okay.
Feel that.
Okay. The same thing you did to get us, the same thing you gotta do to keep her. All right. LG. Well, we're gonna go and jump in this docket, man, get on these topics. I'm sure unless you was on the rock, you saw about this girl that put Gorilla Glue in her hair. But if you don't know, her name is Tessica Brown, and she was trying to fix her hair and ran out of the normal glue that you would put in it, and she decided to put some Gorilla Glue in her hair instead of hairspray. So she went on TikTok and made like a little video explaining what happened. And I think this week, she went to a surgeon and they finally got it out. But I think she had it in for about a month. So what's y'all thoughts on that, Jay?
Man, I think she was tripping, man. That Gorilla Glue, you don't play that shit, man. They tell you what it's for. I don't know if she was excited or what, but man, that shit do work. Maybe she just wanted to see if it didn't work, but I mean, at least she had to worry about going to get her hair done because that shit was slick as hell.
It was shining, boy.
Man, he said he never moved. It ain't gonna move shit. Even the tape worked.
Yeah, I think that was kind of crazy. I'm with you on that, Jay, man. I don't know much about hair products, but anything that's gonna say something with Gorilla in front of it, I mean, I wouldn't put it in my head. From what I heard, they claimed that she had it confused with another hair product was called Gorilla Snot. And so that's what you're supposed to put in your head, but she thought it was Gorilla Snot. Turns out it was Gorilla Glue, and we all know what that do. So, but yeah, like you said, Jay, I mean, she got a permanent hairstyle, so I don't know what she's tripping for.
That's what I'm saying. She saved a lot of money.
I completely agree, man. She didn't use the best judgment on this this mistake she made. But but you're right, had she have left it in there, she wouldn't have to worry about going back. It may have fried her other hand, her scalp, but I guess that's a chance she take. I didn't heard of that gorilla snot before, so I can see, and it's got the same kind of look on the bottle. But I would assume you'd keep those two things in separate places. I wouldn't expect you to keep Gorilla Glue in, I'm assuming, your bathroom, your dresser, wherever you do your hair like that. So, I
Most
mean,
definitely.
a lot of it is I think she didn't use common sense. And two, if it was that bad, she should have reread what she picked up because the bottles are completely different how they shaped. And I know she had to grab that Gorilla Snot, she would have known she had it. The Gorilla Glue bottle ain't nowhere close to the feel, the look as that Gorilla Snot bottle.
Well, do y'all? I know there was talk she might want to sue.
Who she gonna sue?
Gorilla Glue because there's nothing on the bottle that says you can't put it in your hair.
Okay, well then that's the case. I'm gonna start suing for everything. If my soda not sweet enough, I'm gonna sue and say you ain't put enough sugar in it. Come on, man, y'all tripping, man. There's no grounds for suing, man. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, I think she should have just read the label.
Well, McDonald's was sued for like they coffee and somebody drunk and it burnt their tongue or whatever, mouth. And yeah, they got sued for that. And the person won. So now on the cup they have to put that it's hot.
Well, what they ought to be sued for is they sweet tea. That sweet tea will kill you.
No, man, I don't think that suing would be valid. I mean, it's one thing to know, okay, I know coffee is hot, but it's be extremely hot sometime, I guess, when they pour it in your cup. It could be, looked at, but man, this is unexcusable right here. The Gorilla Glue, and I would wonder what's her basis of suing them, because just saying that it ain't for hair is not good enough, because it clearly states on the bottle what Gorilla Glue is best used for.
Well, man, I'm not a lawyer or nothing like that, but people sue for anything, and I think sometimes they might be successful. So, I ain't gonna hate it for trying to get a bag. I mean, it might not be right, but if you can get your bag, I'll get it.
They probably give us something just to keep her quiet.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, she have no grounds to sue. But like you say, T, if she's just trying to get a bag, I understand. But guess what? If she win that case, whoever that lawyer is gonna take most of that bag, because he got to be damn good to win that case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of like that McDonald's thing I brought up. If you go there to get coffee, common sense will say it's gonna be hot, right? I mean, but man, like I say, people sue for so many things, and I'm not qualified to say will she win or not, but probably just a quick bag run and stuff like that. But they probably won't let her win that, man. Yeah. We'll see. You all listening to the Sip Slow podcast. We would appreciate if you would like, share, subscribe to any channel, any platform that we are on. We thank you for listening, participating. We encourage all of that. So we saw this story about a young man who committed suicide because he was in debt through Robinhood. Robinhood is a app where you can trade stocks and stuff like that. Maybe crypto. I don't know if they do that on there also, but this was last year to where he was trading stocks. They said he did some shorts or something like that. And I had my little iPad, but I can't get my internet connection right, so I don't know. But I'm a freestyle it, tell y'all what happened. But Anyway, whatever he did, he thought he owed $730,000, and he ended up committing suicide. He jumped in front of a train and killed himself. So now his family is suing Robinhood for his death. I want to get y'all thoughts on do you think Robinhood is liable? Doug.
Man, completely liable. I would not say that. I think they did have a lot to play in probably the mental state because, one, I don't ever like even owing nothing $20, So if I hear a number like that, then yeah, it's gonna play kind of strong on my mental, and then you're gonna start figuring out like, okay, I know I can't pay this. What's gonna happen if I don't pay it? Maybe those thoughts was running through his mind, and I hate that he wasn't mentally strong enough to realize, you know what, me killing myself is really not gonna solve the problem. Let me go ahead and take this battle to Robin Hood for what they do, and not only to him, and it was other people, I think as well. But to kill himself and then be blamed for it, I can't fully jump on board with that. Now, just knowing stocks and I deal with it as well. You when you start doing that stuff, you already playing with the risk. So you'd assume that you can always assume the worst. That would be the best thing to do, is always assume the worst. And I'm assuming that he must have had some kind of false news, which we know how things were going with that. And it's just very unfortunate that what did transpire has caused this man to take his life. Now that, I can understand the family suing on this one, but I don't think that Robinhood is 100% liable for it.
Yeah, I think it's more to it though. The jump in front of the train, man. I think that's mental too. Even though they say you owe them that much, forget it. That's life. I'm gonna sit it off. Whatever I owe you, if I can't pay it back, it's a payment plan or something. But I don't think it's meant to go and throw yourself out in front of the train. Shit. I mean, you gotta be mentally strong, but man, that's some hard shit. But I don't think they should be liable for them suing him for what he did. I mean, the risk. When you sign up for something, you got to read the policy and all this, so you know what you're getting yourself into. So to go and do that, you gotta know what you're doing. But for throwing yourself in front of something like that, nah.
Yeah, and them stocks get manipulated all the time, man. That's why you gotta follow it daily, and not just follow that platform, but you gotta read into it. It's so many different factors that maybe could have brought him to some better understanding of like, do I really owe this or not, rather than just taking it to that extreme. And it take a lot of, I don't know, to kill yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't even like standing next to the edge of the street sometimes. Just gonna jump in front of the thing. I mean, that's
yeah.
I worked at the medical examiner's office for a little while too, man, and I can tell you, just the thought of putting yourself in some type of danger, or that's scary.
Yeah,
a scary thought that he was dealing with some other demons, rather.
Yeah, that's what that was.
They claim that they suing for the wrongful death, emotional stress, and unfair business practices. So maybe contrary to y'all, I think they hold some liability, because he reached out to them more than once about the situation, and they kept sending him to like an automated response, and they kept saying that he owed it. Then after he felt, well, hey, I don't want to have my family burdened, because he was 20 years old. His name was Alexander Kearns. So he's a college student, and he didn't want his family to be burdened with that type of a debt. Because, man, $730K, man, that take a lifetime for most people to pay.
Yeah.
Ain't much payment plan on that one, Jay. So you know, then after he died, that's when Robinhood sent the letter back talking about no, he didn't owe that money. So yeah, I think they deserve some type of blame for that. And then on the other side, man, look, we all black people on this panel. Well, we know how to deal with hard times or adversity. You know, we don't just go out and kill ourselves like that. We just used to things. We can handle it. We've been through a lot. But this guy's a white boy, and we see grown men that executives lose their job, they jump out the window. I mean, that's just white people just can't handle that stuff normally like we do, and I guess he saw no other way out, you know. But I do think they liable, because you got to think, if you get a bill right now in the mail saying you owe $730K, it's gonna put something on your mind, I'm sure.
I'm gonna put in the trash can. Shit, you ain't getting up from me. Shit.
Oh, you crazy, man.
I mean, the family gonna win some of this suit. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, I think they'll get something.
Yeah, T, I think I agree a lot of it. What you said, T, for as they owe something. You know, they have some kind of liability in this. You don't want to make light of a situation when it's a person, you know, life that was taken. You know, although it be by himself. You know, now I don't agree with the part about you know, just because he's a white man, and I don't get into that side of it. I think it was more of mental issues. I don't think it was just strictly. Oh, well, you know, maybe so. But the part when Dub was saying, you know, it could be the stress, and then what T was saying about how he kept calling them, they kept pushing him off, and that can get you to a point where you're upset, you're hurt. But I don't know necessarily to push you over the top to just kill yourself. So I think he may have had prior mental issues before all that. Now, I don't know that. I'm not a doctor or anything, but that sounds like a person that's mentally challenged in some kind of way other than just stressed out. That's just my personal take on it.
Well, man, we probably down a slippery slope with that type of because a lot of people kill themselves. I don't think everybody has a mental problem.
That's a tough one. I mean,
yeah, we probably not qualified to really speak on that.
But what we do know is that it tends to take place in different other races, mainly the white race, than I think it does with blacks. I'm not saying that that's facts, but as just like how these mass shootings and different things occur, it would take place amongst white race more than any other race. Again, that's just based on the evidence that we have awarded to us in this situation. I mean, even if it's that great amount of a debt, I think my life is still more valuable than that debt. And sometimes you just, you have to keep going. He may have had to just get some legal action involved with Robinhood before. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask, we all have children. So what advice, and I don't know if his parents knew, before he did that, but what advice would you give your child if something like that happened to them?
Well, I mean, personally, I would tell them, like, look, we'll figure out how we can approach this and one, find out if it's true or not. And I would take it to court at that point in time with something like that great amount of money. So if they gonna sit up here and tell me that I owe this amount of money, well, give me all the evidence and showing why. If I'm only investing in the stock, because that's essentially all you really do through Robinhood, you invest in the stock. So how could I be negative this amount of money like that if I didn't put that type of money into it. So if you can show me that, then okay, then we can just start the process from there. Maybe they can settle for X. I mean, we know how bill collectors work. You may owe a certain amount, but after years of time go by, maybe like, hey, we can settle for this, or we can work this out. So I don't know. That's just my perspective and what I would tell to my child.
Do you know what a option spread trade is? Because it said it contained a risk, and that's what got him in this situation.
Yeah, so options are super risky. Options are you can either you're playing against whether the stock is going to go up or whether it's going to go down, and you have certain time frames. It could be a month, it could be a couple of weeks, it could be 3 or 4 years, depending on how you want to invest in it, and you have different strike points that you would. Let's just say if a stock is like $15 and you've heard in the news that this company is doing XYZ, there's these billionaires pouring money into it or plan on pouring money into it, then you may take an option out on that stock because they call them like calls or puts. So if you make a call on it, then you're counting on that stock to go up. And then you can pick whatever type of strike point you want. And there's a cost with that strike point based on however many, because they're like contracts. So it's not an actual full share of a stock. It's a contract towards the option that you're playing on. Or if you hear that, like, I don't know, this executive stepped down or this company may be experiencing some legal battles, then you may put a put against that company because you're counting that it's going to go down. And you're hoping that, okay, if it started at 15, I'm going to say in 3 months, it's going to be at $12. And so I'm going to put my strike point at 12, and I may say I want to do 5 contracts. So that 5 contracts will have an amount that would be associated with it, whether you want it on the day value or if you pick a period of time. Now, what happens is, if you happen to guess wrong, the money you put in there, that money sometimes double, triple. So you can end up turning to where now you've either lost X amount of money, or especially if you don't stay on top of it and pull out and sell or whatnot, because you can sell.
So this kind of like what those people did to their GameStop stock when they boosted up the price and ran it up, huh?
For the most part, Reddit's like this past week, the cannabis. I have 3 or 4 different cannabis stocks that all took off this week. Well, I heard Reddit got involved with one of them. So, and we know with Reddit, they were the ones dealing with the GameStop stuff as well. So one thing I do is I'll put me a strike, like a stop loss point. Like if it goes anything below this, or, I'm going to be staying at that amount that I did my stop loss at, or I'm just going to have a percentage in my head. Like if it get to a certain percentage of increase, I'm a sell it. And if I choose, I'll just go back and rebuy it again.
You go, okay, I hit you in the chat. You're going to have to holler at me offline, man.
Oh, yeah. I got something for y'all. And just because I didn't respond to it, I got some stuff that I've been working on putting together for y'all because I want y'all all to see it.
Yeah, you're going to have to holler at me, man. I want to get on the train too. Pause. Jay, man, y'all got something on that question? How would y'all advise your child if they was in that situation?
The only thing I would do that I don't know too much about, I just go get a lawyer and let them figure that out. That's the only thing I would do because I don't really know about that shit. But and just try to, I would read into it, but just get a lawyer.
For sure. Well, I see he started that when he was a high school senior. So Robinhood needs to have some type of limit on some type of control to where
like
age limit or something. Yeah.
I don't think the age limit has nothing to do with it. I think it's just more so you understanding the reality of what you're getting yourself involved in. and knowing that if I lose or if I win, I'm still here. But again, I don't know what other he obviously had some other things he was dealing with, but then maybe that was the icing on the cake. When they told him that and they wouldn't work, they wouldn't answer his call. Maybe that was just the icing on the cake. But yes, I do believe Robinhood is liable. I just don't believe they're completely liable for it.
Okay. You are listening to the Sip Slow podcast. Al, man, this is a two-part question. So, what do you think about credit, having good credit? How important is that?
I'm not one of those credit freaks, but I do understand that it can be important when you trying to make large purchases. But I'm from the old school way of thinking of, if I can't afford it right then I don't need it. So me, I don't care what kind of purchase it is. I ain't trying to use no credit. I've never in my life owned a credit card. Don't want any credit cards. Debit cards only. It's just like cash. So if I can afford it right then, we'll get it. Otherwise, save up and we'll get there when we get there. But we're not finna be in $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 worth of credit debt. But I'll let you credit guys get more into that, what y'all think. But I'm not big on credit, but I do understand the importance of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, credit is very important for how we live, for the average person. Of course, cash is always king. So if you have cash, it's best to buy something with cash, but credit is great. You need to know what you're doing with credit. Keep your credit score together, keep it right, and teach your children the importance of credit at a young age. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, that I agree. What you said and what Al said too, because I was always told, if you ain't got the money, don't go out and buy it. Put it on credit and all that stuff. But now that I got older, you could have some good credit. You need to have good credit. And I talked to my boy about this the other day about when they get to a point of having good credit, because it go a long way. But for me, I don't own no credit cards either, so I don't get caught up in all that. So
I agree. Oh, my bad, Doug. Go on, get yours off. Well, credit is.
I look at it, and this.
Go ahead, Doug.
Again, this is my. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You was kind of froze.
My bad. Is everything good now and clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, and this is just my story. I wasn't really taught money management in a sense, and paying your bills on time, and the importance of doing so. It was more like, like the rest of you guys. It was like, if you got the money, then you can afford it, then you can get it. If you don't have the money and you don't, you can't get it. And I didn't realize how important credit was until I was already behind the 8 ball. And so then it's just a constant fight and battle to try and improve it. And then, it is important to have it. I'll just say that much, because everybody want to get a house at some point in time. You want a car, and at that point in time when we got our first house, I looked like, okay, if this interest rate is 6%, 7%, whatever it is, if it's 10%, if I can still afford that monthly note, I really wasn't caring and looking at the that percent like that. Not until you start getting to the point where, okay, like, every dime counts, and you want to watch your money the best way you can. Then it's like, okay, well, if I had had a better credit score, maybe I would have knocked down that interest sum, and now I can save an extra $150, almost $200 or so a pay period. So it's one of those things. To me, it's more of a life lesson learned, But only thing I want to be able to do is just tell my kids how, learn from my mistake and show and tell them how and what they need to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ways you can use that credit card to boost your credit, and man, people use the credit card to pay the bills and know how to flip them and all that stuff. So it's important. But like I have books from Dave Ramsey, who's a guy that, a millionaire or whatever, and he preaches do not use credit at all. He always preaches just use cash. So, he has a plan on how you can get out of debt and just use cash. But, sometimes every plan doesn't work for everyone. So I do think you do need the cash, but use credit hand in hand. And a lot of times when we're young like that, like if you're at college, they have people on campus sign up for credit cards. And then you get that credit card, and if you don't have no knowledge of how to use that card, man, you get in debt real quick because you just swiping, and you swipe, there's no accountability of seeing this cash leave my hand and giving it to somebody else. So that second part of that question is, Al, how do you feel about letting people use your credit? I guess like a cosign or something like that.
Okay, well, back on that. Now that can become a little bit more serious, because that can break up marriages. Well, it has been known to break up marriages. It can break up friendships, relationships. So on that, you got to be real skeptical about who you allow to use your credit, because you got to understand it's your credit at the end of the day. They don't see it the way you see it, so they're not going to treat it the same. Now, you do have some people like myself that, like, again, I'm not big on credit, but my credit is pretty decent, just for me paying out my bills and student loans and things of that nature. But I've talked to so many people where their credit has been shot, not due to them making mistakes, but by them allowing other people to use their credit, and it fall that way. So I think just be real particular in who you allow to use your credit or co-sign or things of that nature, because, if that's a friend, it may be a long lost friend after a while.
For sure, man. You can't, you do best just leaving that alone, because if they don't pay that falls on you. Either you gonna pay it to keep your credit in line, or your credit gonna go down. And like you said, Al, it's gonna cause problems with you and your family member or a friend, coworker, whoever. So if you took the time to get your credit where it needs to be, don't let nobody else mess it up for you.
That's a tough question though, man, because I'd have co-signed for people before. I mean, I have, and things to work out, but somebody in the family. But I didn't lose. I didn't let it get to me point where I'm gonna turn my back on my family, or we gonna bump heads about it. Things in life happen. We don't have control on how long we're gonna keep a job or what. So, it happened, and just kind of shake it off, man. I didn't get too upset about it, but it's some part of life.
So they didn't pay it, or what?
No, they paid it, but I mean, things happen. They lost their job and everything kind of happened, and sometimes life is like a dice game. It don't fall right for everybody. So I mean, it's just credit. It's just credit for him, but shit, I can't do nothing else with it. It ain't gonna give me what I need, where I want to go. So
Yeah. Hey.
it was one of them things, but it wasn't a trip on. It's just something that you live and learn. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I had to do it again, I'd do it again.
So did your credit take like a big hit, or it was not that big a deal?
It took it, but I mean, in time, kind of had to figure out some things and stuff like that, but I ain't really get too big on it. It was just somebody need, you know, and that was it. I mean, I got upset a little bit, but at the end of the day, I looked at it could have been me, could have asked them for something. They did the same for me. You know, I don't have no situational when a person working and they give you 3 months, you lose a job and you can't find one, and you know your bills that are coming in. So that's enough already. So, you know, it's like, hey, it happens. Still family. You know, that's it. I can't just turn my back on you because what if it happened to me for the next 3 years or something? I might need somebody. So I can't just go do that. So that's the way I look at it.
Respect.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely respectable, and it's almost like the thought of, you know, like if I loan you some money, I'm not expecting to get it back. I'm gonna loan it to you to the point of just loaning it to you. But when the credit part is tough because at some point in time, well, maybe you want to make a move, and let's just say now you may have too many things on your credit when maybe one or two of them could have been avoided to help you either get an interest, you know, a good interest rate, or even just qualify. Period. So yeah, that's tough. I personally, I would almost do like if you see the person on the street or the, you know, the person begging, look, I may not give you cash, but here, let's go buy you something to eat, or, you know, here's something to drink. That's different because now I still have a feeling of controlling. Well, whereas if somebody needs something, hopefully it's not like a car or a house, but if they happen to need something like that, you know, maybe you get it yourself, and then, you know, have them, you know, lease it from you or something like that. But I don't, when it comes to credit, I didn't had enough issues of trying to correct mine that I couldn't co-sign for anybody. I wouldn't do it, not out of, you know, don't love, but I just don't want to put myself or, you know, my family in that situation.
Yeah, and one more thing is that credit, you know, it determines a lot on what you're gonna pay back. I think Dub spent, you know, mentioned on that. You know, you go get a car or something, uh, you know, that 15% interest rate going, you know, if that car 30,000, you're gonna end up paying 60 for it. Whereas if your credit right, you can get that 2%, 3.5. You know, it's 30,000 car, you might pay 40 for it, 35. You know, and that's gonna greatly decrease your monthly payment. So, you know, it's very important, and I understand where you coming from, Jay, because it might be a important family member that needs your help, and you know, man, you're in between a rock and a hard place to where
Yeah.
you don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
you
See
know, be
them
a hard
fail.
ass nigga, you know.
Yeah, sure right.
So
Yeah.
and it's tough, you know. And then if you marry, you gotta run that by your wife, and then if they don't pay, then she gonna talk to you crazy. You know, it's a sticky situation.
Decisions, boy. Decisions.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, man. But you all listening to the Sip Slow podcast. So Jay, man, when do you feel your team becomes an adult?
I think when they come mature and when they show you that they're very responsible, when they become adult mind. But for this generation, I see it's gonna take a while because I was talking with my oldest boy, and it's kind of like they ain't really too serious about none. It's kind of like it's everything's a little game or a joke. So you know, I say he got a while before he mature. So I said they got to be very mature to go out in this kind of world we in today. And probably I say the age might be probably about 24 now. Used to be 18, 19. So I say probably 24, 25. They can kind of get their feet wet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not sure if I can consider them an adult. In the teen stage, I can say, well, maybe they're a little bit more mature, or they're mentally more prepared to go out into the world. Clearly you're not an adult until you have responsibilities and you can take care of those responsibilities on your own. That to me is adult. And like Jay said, I don't think it's 18 anymore. I think you just think about like with you guys, and I know myself, I don't think I really matured until I got maybe 29-ish, closer to 30, and I still had some growing to do. But I think at a point in time that you can actually take care of your stuff, be responsible, and provide for yourself would really be the only time that I can say you're an adult.
Al?
Yeah, I'm kind of new to this raising a child thing. So my son is 4 months, but I kind of agree with y'all saying. As far as being an adult, I just think personally, just whenever you can handle your own business. Now that I can't put an age on that because they say women mature faster than guys. So she might be 18 and already got her own little old apartment. Got a little whip, paying her little old bills. But then that old son, he might be almost 30, still staying at home. So it won't be in my house. Let me just put that out there. Because at some point, you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, I'm going to always be there to support you. But we talking about being an adult. So I would have to just say, basically, when you can actually be on your own, stand on your own 2 feet with very little help from outside people, whether it's family and friends. So that's my thoughts on it.
I think once you graduate high school, you're an adult because now you're in the real world. You're going to have to start making real world decisions, because mom and daddy just can't keep holding your hand, forever. That doesn't mean that you kicked out the house or I'm going to make you pay rent to stay here, or none of that stuff. But you do have to start making decisions because if you're not going to go to college, then you're just not going to sit here either. So now you're going to have to get out there and go to work. And that's what grown-ups do. That's what adults do. If you're going to go to college, you have to go and do what you are there to do. It's not to go there and play and have fun. Yes, that does come along with the territory, but your main objective, and if I'm paying for it, your main objective is to go there, learn, and get your degree. So I would say out of high school, I think we have to start getting the children on that path to understanding what it's like to be in the real world, because when you coddle them for so long, it's going to be even harder to get them transition to being an adult. What y'all think about that?
Well, I was going to question you on that. You say after they graduate, they're an adult, correct?
Right.
So even if they're living at your house, you're still taking care of everything they got going on. But hey, he graduated, but you still paying out, take care of everything. To not go into details, you're still taking care of everything for them. You still consider him an adult just because he quote unquote graduated.
Maybe I should have said, you probably need you need a job.
Okay.
You need a job. But I think you're gonna start making adult decisions.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. But you're right. I guess if he graduated and he has already got a job, he's made an adult decision. Therefore, he's trying to be a young adult. So he is an adult. I get it.
Well, a lot of people graduate high school. So if you don't go to college, then what are you supposed to do? A lot of people just let their kids just sit at the house and not do nothing.
Now that's not gonna happen in my house. So that's that out there. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but would you kick them out the house because they're not doing it? Put them on the street?
Nah, in my personal opinion, again, this is my first son. I guess we'll wait and see. I think it's all about the upbringing. I think it's how you raise them and you install that in them early so they already kind of know what's going on and how serious you are, even though you probably not gonna kick them out and put them in the streets. Kind of give them that fear that, hey, we're not trying to play these games. So you going to college, you're gonna be working or something, or you're gonna be out there on the streets. Now you know you're not gonna do it. But if you make them feel like no matter what, you do what you want to do, you still got a roof over your head, they probably going to be those kids you just mentioned, 25, 30, chilling at the crib, bringing his girlfriend over, smoking weed. Nah. None of that.
Well, I think if you don't go to school, it's like an option A and B. A, if you don't go to college. B, you gotta get a job. That's it. You can't sit around the house all day and lay around and what. So it's two options, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what I'd be willing to do if you don't go to college, you have to do something, and then I'd give you a year. I give you a year to get it right, get you an opportunity to save you up some change, and then at that point in time, if you still have no plans of going to college or seeking some sort of a certification or something, then yeah, at that point in time, it's time to like step out on your own. But I'll give you a year to gather yourself, let you save you a little money. First, get a job, save you a little money, and you're gonna pay some bills under the roof because you're gonna have to start getting into that adulthood mindset. And so, if you can do those things, then like I said, I'll award you that year. But other than that, you're gonna either have to go to school, you're gonna have to go get a trade, or you're gonna have to work.
So
Hey, T,
huh?
I was gonna just say we need to start holding the parents accountable for this. I don't think it's the child / young adult, it's not their fault. I think it's the parents that's allowing it. So a child only gonna do what you allow them to do under your household. Now, when they get out, like you say, they do what they want to do. But under your household, you the man of that house. So it's time to hold these parents it's time to hold them accountable for what's going on. That's just my opinion. What you think, T?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So, Dub, you saying after a year, you think you got it in you to say you got to get on up out of here?
You either have it or you have to get it. But yeah, I'm gonna let you walk that line on your own. Now, it's not like we're not gonna be here to support you, and if you need something, but you're gonna, because sitting around isn't gonna do you no good. Just staying under this roof and you getting to go to work and do and try to go and come as you please. That ain't preparing you. And not until you take that step. Now, if you take that step, I'm gonna respect that more because it's telling me, you know what, I appreciate what my parents have done for me. They've taught me how to work, how to pay bills, how to pay on time. Why can't I go ahead and step out on my own?
Like sometimes it seems like as black people, we've been pushed out very quickly. Whereas you can see where now again, let me make sure I'm straight on this. Like Dove said, if you're not going to college, even say you graduated college, it's nothing wrong with coming back home and staying. It's nothing wrong with getting in your profession and living at home with mom and daddy.
Get that
But
year.
it has to be a plan, because I think that we always look at, man, we got to get out and be grown. Whereas if you got a degree, most likely you're gonna have a student loan that you come back home, get you a J, start saving you some money. It needs to be a plan, but just to always want to kick our kids out, I don't think that's right, because I see like HGTV where some of these people are doctors and they'll go back home and live with their parents to save up money to buy a house. But as a culture for us, we look at that like you know, we look down on that. You ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was taught. I mean, it's historically been taught certain way, like you were mentioning. And at a point in time, yeah, you got to break it, but break it with a plan.
Right.
Real talk. So that's what that's called. That's called generational curses. Is what that's called.
Well, yeah.
Hey, we know as adults how hard it is out here in this world. We
Right.
know
Yeah.
how hard. The last thing I want to do is put you in a situation where you're gonna go out there and then you're gonna have to revert to something that you've not been around, we've not taught you, and you shouldn't want to do. So that's why I was like, even like you say, if you graduate college, I'll still give you that year. If you don't go to college and you don't get a trade, but you work, I'll give you that year. But just believe you got 4 quarters to prepare yourself.
And
So do you
too. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead? Go ahead, Jay.
No, this lady told me one time what her and her husband did with their boy. They let him stay home till he was 25. He went to college, came back home, graduate. He got him a job, and they told him to get a car. He paid a car off. Before he left home, he had paid his vehicle off and had enough money to go put down on his house. So they gave him enough time and gave him a plan. And it kind of opened my eyes up because we don't get a plan. As soon as we get 18, 19, we get an apartment. You putting money in there where you could be putting money in your bank, saving it up and paying stuff out, then move like that with a plan. We don't have that plan. And it kind of made a whole lot of sense. They worked with him and he went there, got this and shit, got him a family now. He married and wanted too much debt, man. He paid the stuff off. So I said, that ain't bad, but y'all depend how you look at stuff too.
Great point, Jay.
Great point. Great point.
For sure, man. Yeah, y'all think we good on that?
Yeah, I think we pretty much all kind of agree on it. That it's pretty much going to be a job and or college, pretty much.
All right. And then to be adult, it just depends on. It's just not a set age.
Right. I agree.
So, you are listening to the Sip So podcast, man. Jay, man, are you a fan of a team or a player?
Man, I've been a fan of the team.
For sure. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'm a fan of a team. We'll just keep it there, Doug.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually allowed being a fan of a player to end up leading me to be a fan of the team. It happened with the Red Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan. I used to like Pedro Martinez. Happened with the Patriots. I was a Tom Brady fan, even when he was in college. There was just something about him that I liked. It led me to be a Patriots fan. Same thing. I was a Tim Duncan fan. I'm a Spurs fan, but I have stuck with my team. The player led me there. The team is where my heart is, in a sense.
Okay.
Well, I happen to agree with Jason and JT and T. I'm more of a fan of a team, but I'm gonna let T go ahead and build on what he's saying on there. But yeah, I'm a fan of a team. I like players as well, but you ask me the fan, I'm the fan of the team first, hands down.
What led you to be a fan of the team first? I'll question y'all.
What led me to be a fan of a team? I guess when you put it that way, you're right. It did start with most likely a player. For example, the Lakers, it was Kobe Bryant. So that's just to answer your question, to not go too far into it.
But we ain't gonna go down that road, man. So hey,
What's that? The Lakers or something?
nah, just so that I mean I can understand if you had like one team, but if you have multiple teams you've liked, how does that go?
To me or to Al?
I guess to everybody, if you had multiple teams that you used to rock with,
Me
you
personally,
know,
I've
cause
always had. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Me personally, I had one team for college, and I usually had one team for pro for each sport. Now for football, I was a Warren Moon fan, so I used to like the Oilers, and they were local and homegrown.
Right.
They moved, and again, I've always liked Michigan football at the time. Tom Brady, I was a Bo Schembechler fan. That's kind of how mine matriculated. I'm a Duke fan. I used to love what's his name, Grant Hill.
Yeah.
I started as I watched him. I started watching the team more, how they work. A lot of it is systems. I'm a
Right.
big system guy, so that's what led me. So mine has always been a player led me to like the team. The player can move on. I'll still like the player, but I'm still with my team.
Yeah, I after you said that does make sense.
Yeah.
I can be honest. I used to like the Oilers. Like you say, they was local team. I like offense. Warren Moon. But I've always liked John Elway. I used to have the John Elway game on Nintendo. John Elway football. I used to play that all the time. Um, so it's like I always like the Broncos and John Elway, which kind of led me to go on join the Broncos. Um, then because the Oilers always let you down, so you know how that goes if you was an Oilers fan. But that's
Yeah,
that's when I was young. So I've been a Broncos fan. Uh, I'd say since about 95, about 95, 94 up in there. Uh, and then with the Rockets, that's lifelong. Uh, Braves, that's lifelong. Florida State Seminole, that's been ever since, about 92, 93. So when I talk about, to get into the subject more, when I talk about a team, I rock with one team. I don't have a track record of going from team to team, but I see lately where people on Facebook are going from player to player. So if LeBron is in Cleveland, they Cleveland. When he go to Miami, they Miami, and etc. And that's just not how I grew up being a fan. I don't know about y'all, but how do y'all feel about that?
Well, I mean, I got what you're saying. I mean, I'm the same way. I've been a Rockets fan since they had the dream and still is. And most people, people really ain't into it. They just in for the player. And really, you ain't a true fan. You just going with the player. So when the player retire, what do you do then? Who you going to rock with now?
hmm
Is you going to, I don't know how they going to, they might go to whoever the winners team is. That I don't know. But I see most of them go to the team that's on top. You know, every team ain't going to be on top all the time. Somebody got to rebuild. So, I'm just going to ride it out with mine until they, get on the top again. But, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I don't like bouncing from team to team either. I mean, I can still go. I can go cheer for a player
yeah.
no matter what team they on, but I'm gonna stick with my team. I've changed from two Major League Baseball team. I was a Braves fan as well. I used to like Maddox and Justice and Fred McGriff. I just liked that team, and then I end up liking Pedro. And I've just been with the Red Sox ever since. They ain't won everything. My Spurs right now. We had some low seasons
Yeah,
about the
them.
last 3, 4 seasons, but hey, we looking good. I knew we were young. You just have to hang in there.
Yeah.
I don't like the bandwagon stuff. I mean, you win with your team and you lose with your team.
Yeah.
That's why I've always respected the Cowboy fans as much as I'll talk about them stuff. I always respect them because man, they die hard.
So if your team, my bad, I let you get in it.
Nah, I'm pretty much the same thing. perfect example is Tom Brady. Well, as y'all know, I'm a Patriots fan. So when he left the Patriots, a lot of people was asking me, well, okay, you going to be a Bucs fan now, huh? Nah, man. Love Tom Brady. The best, the greatest ever.
Mm-hmm.
Wish him the best, but I'm a Patriots fan. So
Yep.
I can't switch over and just go to the Tampa Bay because he went there.
Yep.
You know, so if they were to meet, of course I got to ride with the Patriots. Hell, I even bet against the Bucs in the Super Bowl and I lost. So that's just go to show you. I respect Brady. That's my boy. But as long as he a New England Patriot, we cool. Once he leave, he becomes the enemy. Got a lot of respect for him, but he's the enemy. So I just cannot just jump from team to team like that. To me, you're not a loyal fan of the team. You're just a fan of that player. And that's just my opinion.
Everybody like to feel good and your team winning, but in sports it just doesn't work that way. You know, your team might have a good run for a while, but it's ebbs and flows. So you're gonna have to deal with your team being down. It seems like nowadays people cannot deal with that, so that's why they pull the card of, hey, I'm a fan of this player, you know. And the people that I see that are fans of players, you know, it's mostly players that's on a good team. You know, I don't hear nobody saying they, you know, fans of Greek the Freak. You know, even though they've been good the last couple of years, but it's mostly LeBron and Brady. And wherever those two go, which Brady's been doing it in New England for years, winning Super Bowls. And LeBron has been, you know, a winner wherever he's been. So, like I said, I just think that people don't want to deal with the bad times. But that's just part of life, you know. It's just part of life. So when them people retire, like y'all said, they'll go find another guy to jump on and do the same thing.
I don't become a fan of a player unless it's just fantasy football. That's when I become fans of players. But other than that, I stick with my team.
You're right about that, Shoes. But
I don't care who you play for then.
Huh?
You say I don't care who you play for then.
I don't either. As long as you get in the end zone or whatever you need, throw the ball, whatever you need to do. So you all listen to the Sip So podcast. We see that J.J. Watt asked the Texans for his release, and they granted it to him Friday. So, Jay, you being the resident Texan fan, how you feel about J.J. Watt not being a Texan no more?
To be honest, he should have been gone by maybe 5 years ago, man. You know, when after he hurt his back, they should have been winning and trading for somebody. So, you know, he did his 10 years there, and they gained what he wanted. So I ain't really looking no way. I mean, they need to rebuild anyway. You know, gonna get rid of your old ones and rebuild. You're already in the hole already as it is. So, you know,
I feel you.
That's all I can say about it. Well, at least you could have traded him, got somebody for him though. Just don't give him up. You could have did something like that. You know.
Yeah, they ain't get nothing.
They ain't get none. Yeah. So.
Well,
I
look at.
Go ahead, Al.
Well,
okay, mine quick.
Okay.
Mine is really quick. All I'm saying is I had to put on the record I was wrong because I just knew JJ was the Houston Texans god, if you will. I mean, that man can do no wrong. I've seen time where this man on the sideline hurt, and they talking about him more than the players that's on defense playing. So I just thought they would never trade him. Well, no, he didn't get traded. I just thought he would never leave. He would, you know, retire Texan. And he may still do that. He may come back toward the end of his career while they sign on for a couple of days just to retire Texan. So I just wanted to say I was wrong on that. But I thought that was a stand-up job by them. I think there was some stand-up people by showing him love to let him go like that, you know, because as Jason said, JT that is, they could have got something for him. Now, some of these people are ridiculous talking about they could have got 2 first rounds, and I've heard some craziness. They wouldn't have got much for him, but they could have got something. But by them just releasing him to show him love that, hey, you gave us 10 strong years, we're going to let you go where you want to go. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That that was a respect move by the Texans to just release him so that he can go try to win a championship. So he gave you 101 sacks for his career. He was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. So it's just respect. So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
No, I really don't either. I ain't really put much thought into it because he should have been gone and at a time when they could have gotten something. But I think they just held on to him for popularity purposes, because he never was the same after that back surgery.
Right.
He was just the household name of J.J. Watt. And,
Put some
that
fans
wasn't
in
cutting it. Now on top of it, I still feel more sorry for Deshaun Watson now because at least you had another huge household name that was on the team with you on the other side of the ball that could, if y'all was still together, you could, make some noise and try to get some players to come to Houston, maybe. I don't know. But now there's no leverage. I mean, the Texans have no leverage for nothing. You didn't get any picks for Watt, and then you already given up all your picks that are going to, be able to find a good player or even negotiate with. So it's just tough, man. I think Watt won out of this deal because he probably will now go somewhere. He going to probably get an opportunity. If not win, he going to go to a contending team. So, and then, unfortunately, Watson is where he is. He's stuck.
Yes, sir. Man, I went and I was listening to the episode last week and then the week before where we was talking about the Super Bowl, and man, we was all totally wrong on that. We was really pumping up the Chiefs, and it didn't go that way. So, any final thoughts on the Super Bowl, JT?
Well, as I watched the game, before the game, I had saw some on Facebook about the Buccaneers staff. So it kind of changed my point of looking at it. Then I looked at they gave an AB hard. They gave an AB. They gave AB hard time, Sue and all them guys. So I was like, it would be good for them guys to win to get one up on their belt because they all been in the doghouse. And plus, with the Buccaneers staff for having all black guys on there that was head coaches or somewhere that took a lot of blame from not having no success in NFL. So they kind of changed the point of view of the game is watching it, though. It wasn't really big on Tom Brady just winning. It just was the Buccaneers of the people they had on their roster. So that's what it was.
Well, my only take on that whole Super Bowl was that, again, I love Tom Brady. He's the GOAT, the greatest ever. But the person that should have got the unit that should have got it is the defense. So with that being said, the person that should have been the MVP is Todd Bowles. I mean, I've never seen a defense completely shut down Patrick Mahomes and the crew. I've never seen that ever. I don't think y'all have either. But to that extent, to where they held this man to no touchdowns the whole entire game, and literally every play he was running for his life. So I thought that was great coaching, great preparation. So no shots at my man Tom Brady, but the MVP was definitely Todd Bowles.
No, I 100% agree. Go ahead, Thomas.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, again, no respect to Tom Brady. I like Tom Brady. I still like Tom Brady. I know he's clutch, but he didn't do anything but just manage the game essentially. But the defense has to have been the MVP, either the entire defense or the coach, like you said, because they didn't just shut down, a high-powered offense, which statistically is why I chose the Chiefs. They shut down the entire
I
playoffs.
thought it was a good game and was different than what I expected, but like Jay pointed out, and I didn't even think that. Uh, so shout out to Bruce Arians for the he had on the staff. So Al, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, shout out to Bruce Arians for the diversity on the staff. So Doug, man, what did you learn today?
Man, I learned that, you know, it's best to have a plan of action of the transition from teen to adulthood with your kids, so that they don't feel rushed or go out and fail on the act of rushing that we historically have done at times as a culture.
Uh, I learned that the same thing it took to get her is the same thing it takes to keep her.
Yeah. I learned that, man. Old girl tripped out for putting that that gorilla glue in her hand, thought it was gorilla snot. They ain't trying to get paid for it.
Man, wild out here.
Kind of kicking off on that same thing you said, Jay. I've actually learned that nowadays, with the right lawyer, you can sue for almost anything.
For sure, man. Man, yeah. So if y'all check us out, always remember to like, share, subscribe. You know, tell somebody to check us out, man. We just giving our opinions and having great conversation amongst each other, and hopefully you can take something away from it. It can enlighten you, or just be thought provoking to where it'll put something on your mind. Always, you know, leave a comment. We will get to you. We appreciate Adric and Homer for commenting today. Thank y'all for listening. We have the email. If you want to email us, at sipslowpodcast@gmail.com. We'll answer that on the next week episode. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. It's all Sip Slow Podcast. And we just thank y'all for checking us out. Doug?
No, man, I definitely thank y'all and hope everybody have a good day and stay warm. And again, happy Valentine's to all.
For sure. JT, Al, before we get out of here?
I'm going to get a shout out to my wife for tomorrow, man, on a big day, anniversary day. 18
right.
years of love and happiness, man.
Congratulations, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
and you get a day off, and it's cold outside.
I know. Yeah.
That's why you on that Henny early.
Yeah. I might try to do a 4P, man.
I heard that, boy. You know, I heard this guy say, well, man, look, you go out here for Valentine's Day, you buy this, you buy that, and what do we get? We get the same box. Same old box.
Wow.
So with that being said, man, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with us. We appreciate that. And as always, man, we're going to sip slow and we're going to live fast.